This is WTAP News at 6.
A trailer explodes this afternoon at a roofing business in Parkersburg. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Phyllis Smith. Our top story tonight, firefighters from 2 departments are called early this afternoon to a Route 47 business for a report of smoke from a storage trailer. Todd Boucher is live in our studio this evening to tell us what happened next.
After the Eastwood Fire Department arrived, Phyllis, the small building exploded, injuring 1 firefighter. Another department, Blennerhassett, had to be called to help put out the fire that followed. Now, it all happened at the foam coat roofing business near Kanawha Elementary School. The company's owner told the fire department the trailer was not used for moving materials. No one was inside the structure at the time. It was while the fire department was trying to determine where the smoke was coming from the initial fire that the explosion happened.
During the time we was doing our investigation for the firefighting approach, the trailer had an explosion and there created fire, and we extinguished it, and 1 firefighter did end up going to the hospital for evaluation.
We're told the Eastwood firefighter did not have life-threatening injuries. We could see foam being used to put out the fire resulting from the explosion. The fire broke out just before 1 o'clock. It was under control about an hour later. An investigation is underway to determine what caused the fire and explosion, as well as what was being stored inside the structure.
Todd Boucher live in the studio tonight. Todd, thank you. Well, turning to the weather now, almost in the 90s. Meteorologist Kirk Greenfield joins us now with the first look at your forecast. Kirk.
A warm, humid afternoon, and it's setting the stage for support of some strong storms sweeping across southern Ohio, not impacting our viewing area quite yet. But when we take a look outside right now, we can see we have some increasing clouds. It doesn't look bad from the Highmark, West Virginia sky cam. 85 degrees, it feels like 89, so temperatures started to be knocked off just a little bit. The relative humidity 61%. Winds are calm and the barometer 29.96 inches, but falling somewhat rapidly. Well, as we see on the radar satellite composite, the first line of storms blossomed over about I-79 and over the hills of West Virginia. That's beyond us, but what's coming across southern Ohio is a storm system that has had a history of rotation, dropping hail, strong gusty winds. There are no severe thunderstorm warnings associated with this, but we are tracking its eastward movement at about 30-35 miles per hour. It looks like it's going to go through Meigs County, Jackson County, maybe even Wirt County, depending on if it holds together. But at this point, there are no warnings associated, not even a watch. Looking at the day planner, well, cloudy with possible storms at 8 p.m., about 81 degrees still, but that has improved as we've gone through the afternoon. 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, partly cloudy and 71, and it looks like by 5 in the afternoon, 80 and partly cloudy. That's the current situation. I'll have details in a moment, Phyllis.
Thank you, Kirk. Some West Virginia delegates are blindsided because a proposal to impeach all justices on the West Virginia Supreme Court of Appeals is proposed today in a House committee. Several of those approved articles involve suspended Justice Alan Lawfrey. One accuses him of lying to the House Finance Committee and deceiving committee members about his knowledge and involvement in office renovations at the state capitol. There are also articles involving Justices Robin Davis, Margaret Workman, and Beth Walker. A local attorney, however, doubts all of the justices will be impeached and removed from the court.
It wouldn't surprise me if one of the 3 may have articles conferred against them. That doesn't, again, mean that they are guilty of anything. Just because articles of impeachment are drawn up or voted upon by the legislature doesn't mean automatically that they're going to be removed. There still has to be a legal proceeding.
Lawfrey also has been indicted on federal charges of mail and wire fraud, lying to federal agents, witness tampering, and obstruction of justice. He's pleaded not guilty to those charges. Meanwhile, Governor Jim Justice gives some good news about the state's finances today. He says that for the first time in 6 years, the state finished the fiscal year in the black without a budget cut. The state finished fiscal year 2018 with a $36 million surplus and a record $4.25 billion in general revenue fund collections. At a news conference today, he credited the state's Republican legislators as well as President Donald Trump's tax reform bill as part of the reason for the economic turnaround. Justice said, quote, "We've made unbelievable progress, but there's still people out there who are hurting, and we don't want to forget that. The more progress we make, the more we can help them." Following up on a story from last month about some Washington County workers joining a local union. Washington County Commissioners met with County Engineer Roger Wright Tuesday in executive session. It was about a union contract with highway and road workers. Wright confirmed last month that 28 workers were now a part of Teamsters Local 637. One worker told us the main reason for the decision to unionize was better insurance benefits for their families and rates that what he says would save the county money. County commissioners say nothing is final. The negotiations are ongoing. The search for a Morgantown government official is over. Morgantown city officials say Deputy Mayor Mark Brazatis checked himself into Ruby Memorial Hospital this morning. Morgantown police, as well as the Monongalia County Sheriff's Department, had been looking for him since 8 Monday night after they got called to his house. Just yesterday, he had announced his plans to take on Democrat incumbent Joe Manchin and Republican Patrick Morrisey as a write-in candidate for the U.S. Senate. A Middleport man is sentenced to 15 years in prison today after pleading guilty to attempted murder and kidnapping. The Meigs County Prosecuting Attorney's Office says Nathan Grimm participated in the kidnapping of a woman from a home in the Long Bottom area last March. Authorities said the woman was beaten, blindfolded, and taken to Forked Run State Park near Reedsville. That's where he pushed her off a cliff. She was seriously injured but survived. He also pleaded guilty to an unrelated theft charge and was sentenced to a year in prison. That sentence will run concurrent with the 15-year sentence. The prosecuting attorney's office says 2 co-defendants arrested along with him are also still facing multiple felony charges. A truck overturns this morning on Route 68, partially blocking the entrance ramp to Route 50. The driver of this semi was making a left turn onto 68 when the truck's load shifted, according to the Wood County Sheriff's deputies. That caused the truck to overturn in the southbound lanes. The driver of the vehicle has minor injuries and went to the hospital for observation. Traffic was back to normal late this morning. Authorities make a major oxycodone bust during a traffic stop in Gallia County. The Ohio State Highway Patrol says troopers arrested 2 men from Detroit and seized 1,000 oxycodone pills worth about $40,000. Troopers found the drugs after pulling over a 2017 Dodge Caravan with Florida registration for multiple traffic violations on U.S. Route 35 Thursday. The driver, Deshaun Scott, and Malik Perry were taken to the Gallia County Jail. They're charged with possession and trafficking in a Schedule II substance. Both could face up to 20 years in prison and a fine of up to $40,000 if they're found guilty. A Tyler County man from Middleburn pleads guilty to a drug charge in federal court. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Wheeling says Boyd Williamson pleaded guilty to 1 count of distribution of methamphetamine in December 2017. Authorities say the drug ring operated in Columbus, Ohio, as well as Tyler and Wetzel counties in West Virginia, and involved the distribution of meth, cocaine, and heroin. He faces up to 20 years in prison and a fine of up to $1 million. A date for his sentencing has not been set. Walgreens partners with state and local agencies to raise awareness about the dangers of seniors falling. Falls are the leading cause of emergency room visits, hospitalizations, and deaths for Ohioans aged 65 and older, according to the Ohio Department of Health. The Buckeye Hills Regional Council took a trip to the Walgreens in Marietta today to educate seniors about fall prevention.
Throw rugs. Big fall hazards. Also, if you walk with a cane or with a walker, you're more at risk for falls. You just want to be sure of areas are well lit. Provide a class called Matter of Balance. It's a 2-hour a week for 8-week class, and it teaches people how to prevent falls. Teaches them exercise, mobility, increases their balance. So we have workshops coming up.
Those free workshops are being done by the O'Neill Center and Memorial Health System. You can go to WTAP.com for more about senior services. Mourning the loss of a beloved coach, teacher, friend, and mentor. Sonny Bidwell died yesterday while working out at Fort Fry High School. He was 56 years old. The official cause of death has not been released. The superintendent says it's believed he suffered a massive heart attack during his routine workout. He worked in the Fort Fry school system for 34 years. He taught gym class in the elementary school and coached numerous teams. He was most recently the head varsity baseball coach at the high school. Teachers, students, and athletes say he'll be missed.
I have a second grade daughter that's going to greatly miss him. I'm in gym, talked to a lot of high school kids, and they just, don't understand it really completely, but they want to do whatever they can to help the family during this time and show honor and respect for Coach Bidwell and for what he meant to the program and to the community.
Condolences to the Bidwell family and Beverly community. Still ahead, high school football also means time for high school marching band. How bands are getting ready for the upcoming season. Get the details next at 6.